MiniWarGaming rules you got wrong.
Hey everyone, welcome to Rules You Got Wrong, Warhammer 40k and 30k edition. This week where Josh and I are going to go over some comments from the battle reports that went up last week, addressing some comments saying we got things wrong, but I think just as often you guys are wrong this time. But we'll go right to it. We'll start off with my battle report.
Look how short I look. This is amazing.
That's true, actually.
This is some Lord of the Rings stuff going on.
Normally I have Josh stand in front of me so I look a little less ogre-y, but we're standing right next to each other, so this is our actual height difference.
Yep.
So going to battle report episode 63, Dark Angels versus Eldar. First of all...
Do you want me to read them for you? You got them wrong?
Yes.
Yes. I know I'm a lot of eye candy to be in your videos, but...
He's here for the beard.
Yes. So, Daniel TMU. Steve, rules you got wrong. Rhinos can repair themselves if they get immobilized.
You are correct, but that's not really a rules you got wrong issue right there. I think that's more of you disagreed with my tactics. See, I chose not to repair that Rhino. So yes, you're right, it has a rule, but I didn't necessarily get that rule wrong. I just chose not to use it.
Okay. Mark of Notch. Maybe one of the best ways to use assault marines would be to use their unlimited vertical movement to stay in cover and hop from building to building until they have the charge to rain down some death from above.
So that unlimited vertical movement thing is something that a number of our viewers will know how we handle it now, but a while back, Matthew and I spent a day and tried to address the buildings that we use in our battle reports here and how they should interact with the rules from the book. So unlimited vertical movement isn't necessarily in the rule book, but it is easy to interpret that way. So how we rule it here in MiniWarGaming, if a model moves 12 with, like, say, a jetpack troop, he must end his movement within 12 of where he started. He can completely jump over a building into the other side, which could have been 20 inches up and 20 inches down, but as long as he starts and ends within 12 inches, that's how we kind of play it.
Yep.
So there's no unlimited vertical. You're right, and that's not really a rules issue you brought up here. I want to bring it up because for you guys to know, our skimmers, our jump troops, our jetpack stuff, whatever they roll, they have to end up within that many inches. So if the jetpack they move 7, you have to end within 7, not 1 inch forward, but 10 inches above the building.
Yeah.
So everything has to end within its movement rate. So my jump troops have to be within 12, skimmers have to be within 12 if they're fast and whatnot.
Next up we have Gabriel Rodriguez. Chappie has hatred, Steve. You rolled 2 1s on the wounds. He has hatred, man.
But that doesn't have anything to do with wounds, sir. No, sorry, dude. That's rerolls to hit, not rerolls to wound. So no, nothing there, dude. Sorry.
And then 3550 Deathwing Launcher Strength 5. So you should have been wounding on 2s.
I looked that one up because I didn't know what you meant at the time. You're right, Strength 5, but a Marine is Toughness 4, so it's wounding on 3s.
Correct.
So I don't. Yeah, sorry, dude. You're wrong on that one.
Rube Doggy Dog. When the Warp Spiders came on, those Lookout Sir rolls can be passed to any model within 6 inches. Not sure why Steve decided to put them on his most valuable guys in the unit.
You're misinterpreting that rule. You can look out Sir to a model within 6 inches, but it always will go to the closest model to the character looking out Sir. So unfortunately, I had no choice. When I looked out Sir, it went to the closest model, which I believe had a Flamer or an Eviscerator. But no, I can't pick any model within 6. It will always be the closest, so you're wrong about that one. Sorry, dude.
Next up, Dark Angels versus Tyranids. Taiega? He failed his leadership test, didn't he? -3 for Shadows of the Warp, 3830.
So what he's talking about is I perilled really close to a flying Hive Tyrant, which had the Shadows of the Warp special rule. So I should have had a modifier in my leadership test, which I didn't know about. Jason and I were having a crazy amount of fun. We're goofing around too much. He probably just forgot about it. So yeah, that is right. There should have been something there, but my bad.
Yep. And Akora, Steve, you know Dark Angels have a rule that means they don't reveal any Dark Angel specific tactical objectives to their opponents, right?
So I want to believe I address this every time they come up. But I could forget. I generally don't keep those hidden. It doesn't make sense to keep them hidden for battle report purposes. I did try using, just holding the camera on the card, because I have some cards and they come up that I don't show my opponent. They're secret objectives.
That actually came up for me in a game today.
Okay, so how did you handle it?
How did I handle it? I just didn't look.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I decided, the way I decided to handle it was, you know what, we're not going to reveal it to anybody involved. It only came up once, and that's how we decided to resolve it.
Honestly, with the objective cards that are hidden in the Dark Angels box, they're not that important for my opponent. Like, I know, kind of fluffy, keep it secret. It's just not that important. So I kind of ignore it. I shouldn't ignore it, but also it's just easier for recording purposes and letting the viewer know what's going on. I know I can let them read the card silently with my camera, but I just lose something doing that. So I'm okay with showing my opponent.
Yep, and that is it.
That's it? Okay, that is 40K. Let's go on to 30K.
All right. Iron Warriors versus Mechanicum. Horus Heresy Battle Report, episode 33. D. Ferris, 1987. At Josh. The Cyber 3G power that lets the model shoot twice requires a leadership -2, not straight leadership, though that didn't matter in this game. Correct, 110%.
Yeah.
It didn't actually, I don't think there was any time that it came up to impact the game at all. I know that. I did a terrible job of pointing that out. So that is on me for not being clear enough in explaining that on camera. Then at Steve, to get no scatter barrage from Iron Fire Rite of War, you need an Iron Fire token within 18 inches and an Iron Warrior model within 6, not within 12.
That's a big one. So I take full responsibility for that one. When I read the Rite of War, I probably got a little too excited while reading it. The rule is basically, I can sum it up pretty easily. If I fire a barrage within 12 of Iron Warrior, it scatters D6 less. And it'll always leave a marker behind. If I fire another barrage within 18 of one of those markers, and then 6 of an Iron Warrior's unit, it scatters nothing. So I assumed for some reason it was 12 within 12 of that unit, because it's D6 within 12.
Yep.
That's the mistake I made. Now, I should have read it more clearly, so that was 100%. Now, ultimately, I don't think it would have mattered in that game. Because your models are so big,
yeah,
and I'm scattering only D6. So I'm not likely to miss, but what it did do is it was
the potential to hit your own units, right?
I don't think so. I was far enough away, especially because I was 12 inches away. What it did allow me to do, though, is pick which one of your models were going to take the hits first.
But the Iron Warrior is going to be within 6.
Yes.
And you scatter, what, 6 less?
6 less.
So there's still a chance you can hit yourself.
I was always within 12, so I would only scatter D6. So, yeah.
I see what you mean. Yep. So shouldn't really impact the game. A kind of sloppy way of showing it.
But you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I did not even notice that. I was so totally wrong, and it could impact the game, and it would have impacted future games. So that's exactly why we do this. That's perfect. Thank you, sir.
Next up from Ozek Araman. Steve, remember that you can move Phosphex Blast up to 2 inches to get more models hit by it.
Okay, so that one's a careful one there. Sometimes I didn't move it because I wanted the models hit, or the models to take the wound to be the models that are farther away from the unit. I wanted the wounds to go in more. But the main reason why I didn't do it, and I think most people don't notice this, it says you may move that template up to 2 inches if you hit more models. So not always been able to move it to get more models, especially when bases are big.
Yeah, when you've got that larger bases.
So sometimes I chose not to because I wanted to allocate wounds where I wanted to allocate, and sometimes I just couldn't.
Yep. Next up is Line Nork. I like this one. Time around 34 minutes, and that was during the fight with the Thanatar, the big monstrous creature, right?
Yep.
Okay. Don't the melta bombs require 2d6 per roll for an armor penetration?
Yes, sir, but that was a monstrous creature.
So when you're penetrating armor, they do. So that's true, but
should I get 2d6 for a wound?
Creature. Maybe is that what he's suggesting?
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, sorry, dude. Even though it looks like a walker, it's not. It's a monstrous creature, so it's strength 8 versus toughness 8.
Next is Python 906881. What happened to Python 906880?
That was his brother.
Oh, okay. Steve, the one grenade per phase rule that appears in the FAQ was not a rule change. It was a clarification that the same restriction in the book about throwing grenades also applies during the assault phase. It's in the actual rule book. Because he capitalized it.
So you and I are not. Yeah, you and I are not going to resolve this ongoing debate that's been going on for 2.5 years. You interpret it one way, I interpret it another way. Some of you agree with him, and some of you agree with me. I think most of the community and everybody here, we talk about throwing the grenade in the shooting phase, and everybody can use them in the assault phase.
Yep.
That's so. If you say that's how it's in the rule book, I understand your argument. I don't necessarily. I don't know. You yelled. So, well, no, sorry, you use capitals.
No, well, to be
So
fair,
I'm gonna say you're
he
wrong.
goes on to then quote the rule and says, once per phase, cheater.
Oh, he called me a cheater.
He did call you a cheater.
Well,
He's definitely a cheater, but for other reasons than that.
thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. Moving on.
These videos are getting to be too fun. The Celtic Raven. You can't take the rights of war
So
without taking a
embarrassed.
Master of the Legion, Steve. You need a Praetor, Delgadus, Herald, Primarch, special character even.
I'm
anybody with that
so
rule.
embarrassed about this, and Josh can back me up on this. When others have made this mistake, I've been so arrogant about. Come on, dude, you can't make that
How could you-
mistake.
how could
How
you-
do you
how could
make
you make
that
that
mistake? Come on, you're embarrassing us. Like that doesn't make sense. You can't. That's so obvious. And I've done 8 horse character battle reports. I've done it twice. I am embarrassed.
So the next question, the next one's actually Garcia. Are you moving back more and more?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you keep being giant tall. Garcia Marquez. I got Steve using a right of war without a Master of the Legion again. Now, in all seriousness, you really can't do that. No, the reason I like this guy so much, and Josh, you should know this and remind it to him too.
Yeah, Josh. I say it's Josh's fault. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Yeah, no, totally. I know this. You guys know this. And sometimes I get a little excited when I make my list and I just start.
Now, okay, so do you use any army building software, or do you just like?
I use Army Builder.
Use Army Builder.
And I don't add, I never use, sorry, I use Battlescribe. And I never put in my right of war.
Maybe you should. Just pro tip. Put the stuff in your list. Ah, it's attached. Carlos. I don't know if this is Murcia.
Yeah,
I almost said Merca.
Merca.
With the barrage, you wouldn't get cover with the Medusas. The Medusas. You said the Medusas twice, so I said it twice. The hit comes from the center of the plate.
Yeah, I think you're talking about the time he got covered from night fighting. Stealth.
Yeah.
Or if it's possible, if the small circle was in between something, would have given it cover. I don't think that happened ever during the game. So I think the only time he got cover was during night fighting.
Yeah, there's not a timestamp on it, so it could have also been the time that we had to go back to resolve the hit with the Thanatar.
Which kind of
there was some messiness there.
I forgot about that. So yeah, timestamps help for me to address, and because even though this battle report, you guys are watching it and commenting right away, for us it happened a while ago, and again we also play every day, so I have to go back and think, well, what game was that? What happened during that game?
Yeah.
So it helps. The timestamp helps. So I can go look at it. I can refresh
Well, there's
my
a time
mind.
too, because I mean it's fairly common. I mean, you guys are watching the videos now. I think I've got 40K coming out that I filmed like a month and a half ago.
I still have 40K coming out that I filmed over a month ago.
So timestamps are important
They help.
because it may have been a while ago that we actually filmed. Next up is Adam Bolton. What was the toughness on those things Steve was shooting with the mortars on his turn 1? If it was 5 or less, he rerolls his wounds because I think Phosphex stuff is strength 5, isn't it? I don't know what stuff you were shooting at, but I think
So it was your Castellix, your
the
sideboards.
Castellax,
The jump.
Thalax?
Thalax.
They're toughness 5.
So yeah, you are wrong though, sir. The mortars are strength 5 poison, and maybe even strength 4 poison. I think they're strength 5 poison, and your toughness 5. You actually need higher strength and toughness for the reroll, so there would have been no reroll. Sorry, dude.
Oh, well, he was saying it. Oh, yeah, if it was 5 or less. Yeah, okay. Yep, so you were wrong on that one.
Yep.
Robutico.
Robutico.
It's Robotag, human in disguise.
Ah, he's a robot.
Steve's Land Raider moved all the time, but fired all his weapons at regular ballistic skill.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think you did.
The only time, okay, so the power of the machine spirit allowed me to fire 1 weapon at full ballistic skill. I think the first turn I moved 18. After that, I moved 6 a couple of times, which allowed me to fire 1 weapon at full ballistic skill. Then I snap fired 1, and then I full ballistic skill the other one, second one with power of the machine spirit. But at no point did everything get fired at full ballistic skill, unless I'm wrong. In which case included timestamp, which would have been a brain fart.
Yeah, I mean,
which could happen, but I don't think that
it's
happened.
always good to resolve this stuff. And if there is the legit ones that you're noticing, and you know when you do post a timestamp and go back and check it, realistically, I mean, Steve and I being able to sit down and watch the entire bat rep, looking to see if there was something like that. It's not necessarily always realistic. If there's
Unfortunately,
something major, then yeah.
Yep. with the nature of the way we film these, sometimes what happens, and unfortunately this is something we need to work around better, is we'll do a movement phase.
Yep.
And we'll leave the room for an hour for one reason or another.
Yep.
We try not to, but it does happen because things happen around here. And then we get back to the shooting phase, and it's easy to forget that thing had moved 12 instead of 6.
Yep.
I don't think that happened, but it does happen. That's why timestamps help for us to catch up and for us to improve them.
Okay, next one is online myth.
Yeah, myth.
Good report, but there were some issues. I didn't see a single template being left in place for Phosphex. The Mechanicum automatas only have a 6-up invuln in close combat. Minor things, but they do matter.
So the invuln, okay,
Yep.
yeah.
The invuln, it's the automatic shielding that the Contemptor has. So it's a 5-up regularly, and then it goes to a 6-up in close combat, which I forgot, so that's my bad. I was just treating it as a 5-up.
For the Phosphex to be remaining in play, we always kind of knew where they were, so when Josh moves his models for the dangerous terrain test. But I've been looking into getting back some of those old 3-inch rings I used to use for War Machine, which I'm going to use for leaving in play for Phosphex.
I think I got a bunch of them.
Do you?
Yeah. I'm
Oh, okay.
For War Machine.
Yeah, so that you're right. We should leave them in place somehow better, but we kind of knew which guys were standing in it before they moved out of it.
Yeah, that was more of a just a housekeeping thing almost.
You're right.
Just to have it not look super sloppy on the bat rep because a million little different colored templates all over the place. Just
well, the thing is, I have enough small blasts to leave all over the place. But if I do, everybody picks them up. Even me, I pick them up and use them for other.
And they get bumped. They get moved.
Unfortunately, for some reason the rings they just stay better. So we'll try to use some rings.
Yep. Okay. Next set of comments is from the Iron Warriors versus Word Bearers, episode 34. First one is Angel Spawn 969. Got papers everywhere here. First time I've commented, so hoping this is the right place. 1. Proto-Rabble has It Will Not Die, so he may have not died as fast.
I always forget It Will Not Die. Yeah, you're right.
I tend to forget it too.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
I remembered halfway through my opponent's turn.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you're shooting at him. I got It Will Not Die. I forgot that last time.
Yeah, no, I know.
Number 2, while he's on the table, all Iron Warriors are stubborn. Around the 40-minute mark.
Yeah. What happened to the 40-minute mark? Oh, you know what? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. They should have been stubborn. I kind of wanted them to run. But, yeah, they should have been stubborn.
And then...
My bad.
Vesdecio.
But that's you.
Thought the big blue Apocalypse template has been FAQ'd away ages ago, been replaced with a huge 10-inch green template. Don't think GW even sells the blue pizza template anymore.
Nope. Yeah, for some reason, when I went to go grab the template, I found a blue one first. And my mind didn't go, oh yeah, get the other one. They just say, oh yeah, you can use this. So yeah, my bad. We should take them out of here and hide them or throw them away, or not throw them away, but get them out of the studios. No, they never stay together. They'll fall apart in the air. Is that it?
That is it.
That's it. Okay, so that's this week's episode of Rules You Got Wrong, Warhammer 40k edition and 30k edition. Bit of a longer one than normal. Keep posting those comments because they do help us. Timestamps, please, guys. They make it tremendously easier on us to confirm whether you're right or wrong and to actually correct the ones that we do get wrong.
Well, it puts into context sometimes. Like I don't understand the comment you're making unless I get a timestamp and go, oh, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Happy wargaming.